8:43, our chance to talk money. Live shot from Century Plaza Hotel and Spa. Blair Manton, Sands & Associates, RSP deadline has come and gone. Now we have to look ahead to tax time. And you're here to cover off do's and don'ts. And one of the important things is understanding, well, what are the timelines for actually filing taxes here for the 2017 year? What are we looking at?
Well, April 30th. If you remember nothing else, April 30th is the deadline when CRA has to get your return in. So whatever you need to do, make sure they got it in their mailbox that day. And now I think that's a Sunday, so you can actually do May 1st as long as it's postmarked or at their office that day. But really, April 30th is their deadline.
And if you're self-employed, how does that change?
Well, it changes because you've got until June 15th to file your return, because it can take a little bit longer to get all your receipts together and things like that. But keep in mind, if you owe CRA money and you're self-employed, you've got to pay that balance April 30th, same as every individual. If you owe them money when you submit your return, have a check ready, or else they're going to hit you with some interest charges, 5% penalty right away, and then 1% per month until you pay off the balance. So it can be significant. Okay,
those interest charges can add up. One of the other tips that I appreciate that you introduced is just giving yourself enough time to get everything together. And how much time is enough time, and what do we really have to look at when you're compiling everything?
Well, it really depends. If you're self-employed, enough time is not an afternoon. You probably need to set aside a couple days, really do a little bit at a time. If you're not self-employed, if you get a paycheck, you get a T4 slip, maybe an RRSP slip, an afternoon is just fine. But also keep in mind, if you're going to need some expertise, some help from your accountant or from even a friend, anybody that knows tax information is going to be very busy from April 15th onwards. So give yourself enough time, but also give your accountant enough time.
And what's the trend? Most people just filing online now, or do people still mail in the returns?
Over 80% of people file online, and a lot of people don't know this, but you can do your own taxes so easily. You just buy some software, download some software, do it for a few bucks a person. You don't need to necessarily pay somebody. And if you're low income, under $20,000, or a student, you can file for free.
Okay. You had me at free.
Yeah, it's great, right?
Another tip, don't forget to file.
Yeah, so part of this is it's your obligation as a Canadian. You got to file a tax return for every year, even if you don't have income. But also, you'll miss out on money the government is supposed to send to you if you don't file a tax return. I had a client in my office last week who thought she had to deal with her debt problem. We figured out she hadn't filed 5 years of taxes. Huge child tax benefit coming to her. She doesn't have to deal with her debts anymore. She's got some money coming in.
Okay, so we'll look at that. Tax scams. This is always interesting. What are the most common tax scams you're seeing out there right now that we want to try and avoid?
The one that I'm seeing now is someone will call you very aggressively and say, we're going to be at your door tomorrow, you're going to be thrown in jail, we're CRA, we want our money right now, and they tell you to go and buy gift cards or even bitcoins. There's a bunch of warning signs for it, but these guys are very, very sophisticated about it. So first off, if you owe money, CRA is never going to start with an aggressive phone call. There'll be a nice letter, they'll work things out. So if someone's calling you aggressively to collect tax debt, call them back, call a CRA number, a 1-800 number, and kind of figure out whether it's real.
Okay, that's good to know. I got that voicemail too, and I thought, you know what?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
I think I'll stay away from this one. And don't ignore a balance owing.
Yeah, so don't put your head in the sand. If you owe money to taxes, this is probably one of the most serious debts that you can have, because if you owe a credit card debt, they've got to go through a couple steps before they can take your wages or, register onto your condo or your house. CRA can do any of those things right away if you owe them money. They can go to your employer and take your money. If you've got a tax debt and you can't pay it, talk to someone like a licensed insolvency trustee. A consumer proposal can make a deal on tax debt, stop the interest, pay back what you can afford. There are options if you owe the government money.
Okay, nice setup for the support. We're all ready for tax time, so end of April is what we're looking at to get things done, and obviously with the self-employed, a bit of a tweak on that. Blair, thanks so much.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Appreciate you coming by. Website you see on screen, sands-trustee.com for all of the support you need come tax season.